Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Last Epoch dev stream. I'm your host, Mike, and let's hop right in. Today is patch day. Very pumped, very excited. Glad to have you here. If you're here hanging out, welcome, welcome. We're gonna be starting a new character because I haven't started a new character on stream in quite a while, and we got a sweet new character creation screen. So I mean, we've had a lot of fun with the patch and a lot of fun with Sentinel. We've been playing recently a lot. There's a lot of updates that happened to our fine friend here, the Druid. Shapeshifting. So I think we're gonna play a little Primalist. Get into Druid. Do some Bear, Swarmblade, Spriggan form. So yeah. I'm just gonna go with my, oh, it's already in use. Of course it's already in use. There we go. Just playing standard.
I am a primalist, man of the wilds, the link between the people of my tribe and the spirits of the land. I was returning to my home in Heoboria from a hunt, only to find flames and destruction. A raid by the forces of Raya. My home and my family had been turned to ash. The call came for the tribes to unite, but I am drawn elsewhere. Now I am traveling to the Temple of Eterra in search of answers from the Mother Goddess and the strength to take my vengeance.
This is my walking. I'm walking to the Temple of Eterra. All right. Oh yeah. I don't sound social. We turn chat off while we stream. Oh yeah. Gotta get my Wolfie boy out. Did I get a cool wolf name? Primal Wolf. One day we'll get a cool name. That was offset a little bit. I've started a new character in a while, apparently. Oh yes, the build on Nightbot is old. I have a new build that we'll be putting up. Reimer's got a build for me that I'm gonna be working towards, and everything. But we just figured we'd level up to that point. Come on. Question regarding dungeon keys. Do they drop only in monoliths, and what is their drop chance? I'm not going to tell you the drop chance, partially because I don't know, partially because we don't really like to share specific numbers on things like that, because humans are really bad with understanding drop or percentage numbers, especially when they're very small or very large. As far as the keys, they will drop outside of the monolith, yes. They will drop more frequently inside the monolith just because you're going to end up with like just a lot of items are dropping in general. But yeah, they can drop outside the monolith. I'm pretty sure they can drop in the dungeon itself. And I think that's something that's... And like this may change based on feedback from this patch or as we just feedback from testing later on. But I'm pretty sure that the goal, longer term, once we have many dungeons, is to have it so the key to the dungeon you're in never drops in that dungeon, but keys to other dungeons drop very frequently, such that you can like just do dungeons as your end game system. But if you really hate the monoliths, for example, but you're very unlikely to just spam one dungeon over and over again. If that makes sense. Just for the variety. Probably should kill things before I do that. How much caffeine have you consumed this week? Not a lot. I can actually tell you exactly. I've consumed 200 milligrams of caffeine this week. Which I know is really odd that I can tell you the exact amount, but that's how much it's been. Which I think is about 5 cups of coffee. I don't drink a lot of caffeine. I didn't drink any caffeine. Does corruption affect the drop rate of dungeon keys? I believe it affects just the number of items that drop, so like indirectly it kind of does. Oh, we've got some. Am I soundload stuff? What's going on here? We got a raiding party coming in. Action RPG, 64 people. Welcome, welcome. Thank you very much. Glad to have you with us. If this is anyone's first time here on the stream, we always stream for charity, so any donations, subs, any of that stuff, anything that money comes in, it all goes directly to the people above me, which in this case is World Vision. And, yeah, you don't need to. You can just hang out, ask some questions. If you have questions for me, please put an at Last Epoch game in the question, and that way I will see it a lot better. Alright. Back to more questions. Amazing job on 084. Thank you very much, Aaron. Glad to see you enjoying it. Well, I'm assuming you're enjoying it, but yeah. I'm sure we'll see later. How does it feel to move like you're in molasses with the new character base speed? I know it sounds weird, but I really like the start of games like this when you're like, your character's kind of nothing, and you're like, oh sweet, I got my 4th ability that just unlocked. As I say that, that's good timing. And like when you're like excited, but just like the tiniest little things, you're like, oh yes, it was terrible, and now it's slightly less terrible. And building up to like full everything. I really like that process, that timing. So what are we doing with this character? This character is going to be Swarmblade, Werebear. We're going to switch between the two, back and forth, because there's some cool synergies there. So we're going to be doing a lot of melee stuff, so we're going to be using some sort of melee attack, maybe a couple summons. Who knows what we'll be doing, but I think we're going to start off with just Fury Leap, maybe? Bear Thorns? I don't know. Let's just do Wolf, start with. Get some damage in the Wolf. And yeah, let's go straight strength to start. We'll get swiped real soon. Alright. More questions here. Hello, running a fresh Prime list and really enjoying some of the new environment assets. The bridges that need lowering in the last archive are a nice touch. Yeah, we're trying to get more dynamic effects into the scenes, and I think it's working really well. So I'm really happy with that. So thanks. None of my 10 tabs of uniques seem to have legendary potential. To whom do I report this bug? To the void, as they're the only ones that will care. No, I'm just kidding. We were very clear that none of them would have legendary potential. If you want to find uniques with legendary potential, you need to find fresh uniques.
There's nowhere to run.
It sounds like he may have been joking, but I'm not sure. I found a key. What level should I be? Like, you found a key, a dungeon key? If you found a dungeon key, you probably want to going to be level 50 plus. To do that dungeon. 55 is like the level of the dungeon, but if you have a decent build, you can do it earlier than that.
You dare defy Raga's will.
A fun fact: when he's up in the air, you can still attack him.
My talents will tear you apart.
Hyped for the new patch. Just wondering if you could share some insight about the intended goal with Wind Fury Strikes in the Swarmblade tree. I don't know what that is. The Tornado node. Okay, that's the one. It like has a chance to cast Tornado, I think. I guess I could just look, couldn't I? Swarmblade. This one looks like Tornado. Wind Fury Strikes. Great. You gain a stack of Howling Cascade when you use Armblade Slashes and hit at least one enemy. Reaching 6 stacks consumes them to cast Tornado. When consumed tornadoes, this consumes Tornado's mana cost. Okay. Let's read the question. I can't seem to find a lot of synergies involving it yet. Yeah, I mean, it casts Tornado, so it has, like, Swarmblade has the synergy with Tornado. Does there need to be more synergies than that? I don't know. Maybe you've got something that triggers on spell use and you need some way to trigger a spell use. Oh, we've got some subs here that I missed. Alright, we've got Urkdom has subbed tier 1. Thank you very much. And we've got Exaltheus has also subbed. And Daedalus has gifted a sub to Andrew Tilley. That's funny. Yeah. Congrats. Thank you very much, Daedalus. And yeah, Andrew does a lot of work compiling a lot of info from the streams to share with people on the forums and such, so that they don't have to go searching through a 2-hour-long video for a tiny bit of piece of information, you know. And I recently found out he does it all by hand, which I was just like, oh my god. I don't know how you do it manually. Or not manually, but every time I hear some big process being done manually, it just is like, it's terrifying to me. Alright. What do we got here? Hyped for the new patch. Just wondering if you could share some insight about the intended... Oh, yeah, sorry. It was the same question. Can't wait to try out the new patch after I get back home from work. It seems like y'all are gifting us a bear for Xmas, and I couldn't be happier. Yeah. It's a good one. It's good. It's a good bear. Big bear. Quick question: is there any easy way to wipe my account to start again? There's a forum post that describes this in detail. You can basically just delete your save folder, and that'll wipe it. If you have a really old account, like from before, like Kickstarter days type account, it will reset your account back to that time if you just delete the save folder, because there's a place where you used to save it, which will still be on your computer possibly. But yeah, delete the folder; it'll remake itself. The save folder. Was the voice actor who did the Eternal Legends teaser weeks ago the same voice actor for the Diamond Matrons? I have no idea. It wouldn't surprise me, though. Thanks, on my way there now. You're welcome. I don't know what question that was, but you're welcome. Okay, let's equip something other than what we've got on. You know, let's put something on. Probably better. Yeah. Yeah, it's great. Dropping stuff, making room in the inventory. I probably could be running a little bit faster here, but we're hanging out, enjoying ourselves, you know. Ding! Oh, getting swiped so nice. Thank you very much, Master Sword 1291. Glad to see you back. Resubbed 7 months. It's a lot. It's a lot of time. I always find it crazy that we've been doing this for 7 months here, just in the stream. I know we've been working on the game a lot longer, but like, it's good. Feels nice. I like it. Alright, I just mean involving specific damage types which they don't share. The Swarmblade doesn't seem to have a lot of direct benefits for spell damage that I've seen yet. Yeah, like there's not a lot of there's not a lot of things there, but just because there's not a lot doesn't mean it's not useful.
Yes. God be with you. Impossible.
I may want to actually start with swipe. Yeah, you know what's good. We're gonna respec. We're gonna take swipe. I'm pretty sure that's the way we want to go. Plus, it's locked behind the Serpent Strike node, which doesn't gain and doesn't scream synergy to me. Yeah, I mean, like, there's sometimes are nodes that don't necessarily go in the exact perfect spots for, where there's guaranteed to be 100% synergy across the board. Like, there is some synergy there, so like there's damage over time, and poison is a damage over time, so you just get increased damage over time. It does work for both those things, so like there's some overlap there. Sometimes you want to use it for, like, Tornado's got some like stun heavy stuff, I think, in there too, or it did at one point. It did at one point, it doesn't anymore. But sometimes you're using it for the utility of it as well, so like I'm pretty sure Tornado does have haste. Do I just not know anything about Tornado anymore? Apparently not. Tornado in general is on the list. The rework list, though. at least the glow up list. And we've got another sub, Deadlist Gifting Lizard IRL sub. Welcome, welcome. It's funny to see the guys that like I see all the time and I know around the community getting gifted subs. I like it. Yeah, I think we're going this way though. Just the damage and leech is just so good. So good. Having both a permanent rage drain and all triggered skills consuming rage feels kinda bad. It should be either one or the other. Skipping out on permanent drain or giving us a node that removes the drain but gives us 20 to 30 less damage modifier would be better, in my opinion. Yeah, we tried a lot of different things. There's a lot of different ways to have rage generation, and quite often there's rage generation on the skills you're using that then trigger abilities anyways. So even when you're triggering abilities, you can still have a net positive effect on it. There's a couple goals of the system that kind of work together, and it's really important that there are costs for triggering abilities. Otherwise, otherwise we just can't have the triggers really, because there needs to be some sort of limiting factor. And then we really didn't we really don't like the idea of just everyone always trying, just you turn into the form and it just stays there forever no matter what, because it does invalidate a lot of the other abilities on your bar, which we try and give synergies to through triggering abilities. So there's some sort of, like, you're going to this form, it's not stable, it's not who you are as a character really, it's this other form you're entering, and so you slowly lose rage and pop out of the form eventually because it is unstable. But you gain rage by being in combat. So there's the like thematic and mechanical reasons for it to be happening. I think it works really well, especially when the nodes that help you gain rage back are very accessible. Like, you can always get one when you first unlock the tree, because of the level you unlock it and the minimum skill level you unlock it at. Like Rare form, you get this as early as I think level 18 is the earliest you really see anyone get this, maybe 20 or something. And is it right here? Yeah. Like right there, you need 4 points to max it out, which you do have at level 20. I believe that's the minimum skill level is 4. But even if it was only 2, like, you still get at least a point in there, right? I just saw someone say don't delete your registry. Do not do that. How can I delete messages? Don't delete your registry, everyone. It's a bad idea. Things will not go well. How do I delete this message from chat? Oh, I don't know how to do it. Random Rain Max, don't do that. Don't give people bad advice. Just got 2 times Jerry on my own druid wolves. Why are you so basic? Oh, like 2 named Jerry?
Only a little longer.
That's funny. I see a lot of people complaining about respec system. I played other ARPGs recently with a dedicated zone where you can try skills freely on dummies or moving enemies. Would that be possible feature in LE, a room where you can respec skills and try out synergies and so on? It's something we've talked about, and it's not impossible. There's a reason we don't have it, okay? And it's linked to, like, building your character is something that's we do like. Okay, we really like people experimenting with their character. That's great. That's fantastic. Like, it's a puzzle. You've got your puzzle pieces. Finding out the best way to put the puzzle together. Like, that's what a lot of this game, what this type of game is all about, really. We're also trying to build a bit of a bit of a link between you and your characters. Like, so you get not attached, but like it's part of more. It's more than just like, oh, this is the character. It does stuff cool. And more of there's a connection there. That might be the best word, connection. And usually, yeah, that's better. Usually, and this is why we don't have just a free respec system, is because, just like anywhere, is because usually a lot of that connection comes from playing the character, and like, this is my frost mage, this is my lightning mage, and like as it levels up, you sort of build that connection. And just free anytime respecs quite often can dampen that connection, I think. There's also mechanical reasons of having, say, there's like a build that's really good at doing dungeons and a build that's really good at doing monoliths. If you like, having builds have strengths and weaknesses is really important, and if there is like a monolith build and a dungeon build, and you just, if you're going from one to the other and you just like switch on your way from one to the other, I think that cheapens the connection there as well. Yeah. So there's definitely a lot of things that go into that. As far as a room where you can just test anything out completely, it falls a little bit into the category of why we don't have like DPS meters, right? You get build homogenization a little bit, I think. And having a room where you can test stuff out, I think, is on the lower end of danger scale for that. We've just got so many other things to add that I think are more important and would add more to the game. I think it's the biggest reason why it's not in the game yet. I know we've talked about having, like, because we do have a room like this for testing already, and it looks gross, and we never release it in the state that it's in. But it's just training dummies everywhere in different configurations. Like, there's 3 in like a little triangle, and there's like 8 in a big bank, and there's like 4 in a circle, and stuff like that. So it's stuff we can do for sure, and we might do one day. I don't know. Oops. Alright, I just got crushed by Julra in my first dungeon. Holy creep, it was so what the haha. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. Did you use all the tools available for you to fight that boss? Maybe there's a new tool you got recently that would have been useful that you didn't utilize quite as well as you could have, maybe? Hint, hint. Loving the updates, super proud of you and the team. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, that was a nice little armor. Mine's good too, actually. Just solid stats. Honestly, we're probably gonna put blessing on our bar. Cause I love a nice heal when I need it. Who am I kidding? I'm not using ice thorns. Hi, Windfox. Wait, is it an actual dev playing and chatting? Yes, I am one of the senior developers at 11th Hour Games, working on Last Epoch. I've been with the game for a very long time. Not quite day one, but like close. Like month 4. Let's call it month 4. Probably pretty close to that. If you use Rune of Ascendance on a weapon, will you only get unique or set items with the same weapon subtype? No, it is weapon item type, or what we call base type is the term. So, if you do a one-handed sword, you will get a one-handed unique sword. It could be any one-handed unique sword. Why haven't I found a dungeon key yet? Explain! You haven't killed enough enemies yet. Or you didn't update the game. I don't think that's it, though. Likely just haven't killed enough things yet. Ooh. It's a spicy boy. Why did the Maelstrom instant cast node get taken out? I don't know off the top of my head. It was too good. It was too strong. Probably. Can you release the weightings average potential cost? Seeing as how initial cost showing is 1 to 20, it makes a lot of people concerned. Probably not. We don't really generally release full details of back-end number chances or things like that. The average, I guess the only thing I can say to put you is, the average number of crafts you'll get on an item is higher than before. The chances of getting an item to T20 from different points along the, so like an item that starts at T0, 1, 5, 10, 15, getting all of those different starting points up to T20, it's a little bit different, but it is on average easier. So, items that started at T0 through, like, because normal and magic items start with less forging potential, and rare and exalted items have more, it's shifted so it's easier to craft on higher level or higher rarity items. So like a T0 item, getting that to T20 before was almost impossible. It's still now almost impossible. And then, but getting an item that was like, say it was a rare item that started at like T15, getting that to T20 is now easier than before. But the weightings, weightings average potential cost. The weightings are 0. There are no weightings. Actually, I might be wrong. I think it may have been weighted lower before, and people didn't like the concept of it being weighted, so we just dropped the top end of the number down a little bit. I think that's what we did. So is the safe assumption that all of the other passive trees will get Druid's new point threshold bonus treatment? Yeah. Yeah, that's just something new we were trying out. Let's see if I can find one. Here's one. So yeah, it's funny. This tech was actually already in the game for a long time. We just didn't have the UI made for it, but that isn't really the hard part. We got a few ones. Oh, that's in a second. So yeah, there's this new thing where like once you get up to a certain threshold of points in the node, it gives you like an extra boost bonus to it. So we've got a bunch of people here. Oh my goodness, I'm slacking. Mathrate's coming up the rating party of 6 people. Thank you very much. Welcome to the stream. It's 12 minutes ago. Oh, I'm falling way behind. Muckthrophus has resubbed for 2 months in a row. Thank you very much. Bankai Killer Hunter resubbed for 4 months. Patch Hype. I got off work in 7 hours. I feel for you. Stay strong. Get your work done. It's important. Iro Word, thank you for the sub. Bankai Killer cheered 100. Thank you very much. And he cheered again. He's like, you're not paying attention. Look at me. Hey. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm working on it. Doing great. Thank you all around. Much appreciated. What are we doing here? What are we doing? I do like that health node. Let's just dump points into that first, and let's go back to town. I don't know if it was asked before, but the node explosive blades from Umbral Blades are currently scaling with int. Is it intended or should it be scaling with dex? I don't know. If you think something's just in general, if you're like, is this a bug? Just report it as a bug. Because even if it's not a bug, the fact that you think it feels like a bug is worth us knowing. If that makes any sense. I'm gonna give it to Artem. Because that ambulance fun. Yeah, it's fun. At the explosive blades node int scaling, I'm not sure. I know there is some int scaling in Rogue. Int is a secondary or tertiary scaling for Rogue in general. Most of them are dex, and the ones that are int and dex. The explosion may have, if it's a sub ability, the scaling of the sub ability doesn't actually matter. I should have said that first. When you see scaling tags of a triggered ability, if that triggered ability can't be put on your bar, it doesn't matter. The only time that the actual scaling node, the scaling tags, get taken into effect, this will be a good example actually right here. Yeah. So lightning bolt, it says lightning spell. Spell damage doesn't, oh no, spell damage would, because it's a damage type. But it doesn't have like attribute scaling. So if it had, say this had intelligence attribute scaling for this amount, it wouldn't actually do anything because you're not casting the ability directly. It's a triggered ability, and only directly casted abilities get attribute scaling applied. So it probably should say dex, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't do anything either way. But the scaling of whatever cast it is applied to it. So if a dexterity scaling skill triggers it, that's what gets applied. I actually really appreciate, and sorry to not move on from this here. We try and put the scaling tags on the triggered abilities to be the same as the scaling tags in casting it, so that it effectively does count because it's inheriting that scaling tag. So and this is just attribute scaling tags, just want to be clear. So that it looks like it's working, because it already is technically working, but it's not working the way you think it's working. So it's one of those behind the scenes trickery things. Sometimes if we have like triggered abilities and we're like, it's something generic like an explosion, in this case it's probably what happened, sometimes what we'll do is we'll just take an ability from like mage and put it on rogue, because it's just like a generic explosion. It doesn't really need to be too unique to that character. We've really tried to stop doing that, and for the most part we don't. But it could have also been, so what we'll do is we'll generally like copy it and make a new skill and have new scaling tags on it. And so the old scaling, it may have been copied from another ability, and the scaling tags may not have been replaced. That's what I think happened. So yeah, it's probably a bug, but it won't affect gameplay at all. Really long explanation. Alright, let's keep moving, because I'm probably way behind here. I actually really appreciate the fact that you don't have a testing feature. It's been enjoyable to fully experience the character and learn from the skills where everything falls into your own individual playstyle. Yeah, I'd say this is a very controversial thing to have or not have. And thank you, Vanguard Killer, who has gifted EHG Derek a T1 sub. Congrats, Derek. Welcome to gifting your own channel. Derek is our art director. Does some great work. He's been doing awesome work recently. Yeah. Ellery Eve, resubbed 3 months in a row. Thanks for the patch. And now we want to know what will there be next. Yeah, that's we've got plans for next patch. We don't have it 100% nailed down exactly what's going to happen. We like to sit in the patch for a little bit first before we really dive too deep into next patch. We've got plans. We've got plans for the next 8 patches, really. Not specifically laid out exactly, but you know. Just checked character selection screen, and I can say it is 900% improvement over the old one. It feels that good. Yeah, it's really great. It's really great. On the topic of testing builds, what about a gauntlet-style test or arena that can give some measure to build parity, such as a small stretch of map with rares, mobs, mini-boss aimed to testing how long it takes to clear everything in there? Yeah, like a boss rush mode type thing. Yeah, and I can see something like that being a fun addition later. I don't think that's going to be a next patch feature. Sorry. The static orb node that causes the orb to return to you was always used with the small orbs node, but because it required a node that now has 80% less chance to cast small orbs, the build is completely dead. Was this intentional, or was it an unintended side effect of nerfing the orbital node? Yeah, it was intentional, I think. I didn't make those changes, but I'd say that's likely intentional. Usually is. Not always. How do you guys feel about the shaman skill tree right now? It's okay. It needs some work. Happy Patchmas. Thank you. I hope you are having an amazing day. I am having an amazing day. Thank you. The visuals for everything looks amazing. Are the point bonuses from the druid tree something that you're going to be adding to the class as well? Yes, it is. What do you see the role of magic items being in the game? Will they be used to level characters in the future? Are they seen as tools for the leveling process? Yeah, there's... It's tricky to have like leveling items actually be like a really important and valuable portion of the gearing. And it is really rare for it to actually work out. I mean, the only example that I can think of off the top of my head where like a magic item is the like... I don't know, the best item in situations. So there's like really in Diablo 2, magic items could have higher stat ranges on their mods than rare item versions. And this works because you can never turn a magic item into a rare item. Because you can turn magic items into rare items, we can't really do that. Generally, we want items that are of higher rarity, so rare items over magic items, being more useful. But because you can, because you like the 4 affix, it comes with 4 affixes or 3 or 4 affixes ready to go. There's a lower chance that you can get the exact affixes you want on it. So yeah, I don't think people in super late game characters, which is I think is a lot of how gearing is looked at, is just from a super late game standpoint, won't really be looking at magic or rare items that much, if at all. And I think that's okay, but like even if you get a perfectly affixed T40 or T20, sorry, rare item, it can be better than a legendary item in some cases. it's possible. Not very often. Like the legendary probably would have to have been rolled not very great to have that happen. The rare has to be rolled really amazing, but it is possible. But yeah, so I guess magic items kind of fall off, and they're not very exciting right now. And I think that's okay. I think if there has to be one item type that's, or in this case 2 item types that are lackluster, having them be the lowest rarity ones, I think is the best option, personally. And I know that can be frustrating when you have a lot of them dropping, but we have a loot filter, so it's not that big of a deal, I don't think. Come on. We tanky enough. Yeah. Flaming pickaxe of hunger. This feels like something that like a dwarf would be carrying around, and I like it. What's the next class to get a rework? Lich and Acolyte in general really needs one. So is that it? I don't know. Maybe not. I would disagree with that assumption, or that postulate. I don't know what you want to call it. Where is the dungeon entrance located? Is it one of the campaign maps, or is it the end of time? Yes, it's in one of the campaign maps. The last PoE League was featuring some time travel features and some new skills that were similar to Last Epoch already existing skills features. Do you think no? Is it on purpose? As you guys always told people you like PoE. I think that PoE develops content really far in advance, and I suspect that they had planned abilities like that and content like that for quite a while. I also think there's like a finite number of abilities you can make in a game like this. So having overlap is inevitable for sure. If you're asking me, do I think they copied us? No, I don't think they just copied us at all. Yeah. We've talked to a few of the PoE guys a couple times, and it was great. It was great getting to talk to them. It was very cool. Yeah. You were joking. I don't know what you were joking about. I'm sorry. I should probably read the names out so it like registers in my brain who was talking each question, that I can call back the. Can I heal them? Yeah, I can. You can heal the guards. All right, guys. Oh no, I need mana. Stay with me. Stay with me. Oh, one of them died. Okay, no. Survive. Live. Dang it. Okay, next time I do this quest, I'm coming in here with like mana regen and healing, and like we're gonna keep them alive. It's funny. Oh, I need to heal myself. Okay, just don't spit fire over here. Just not right here. Oh, come on. I said not here. Oops. What is going on? Oh, it's the wrong button. My hand was on the wrong spot on the keyboard. Oh. Love the new areas during leveling, feels extremely well. Any other campaign chapters that are targeted for future updates? I don't know off the top of my head, but yeah, there will be. Oh, just missed that. I'll be paying attention more. We'll continue to update them as they start to get older. quality standards for level design and everything really has gone up quite a bit in the last few years. Here we go. Yeah. I don't know if we bother with that. I'm caught up. Lovely.
Eterra's grace be with you.
Yeah, this is the new crafting, like, crafting, hey guys, crafting. No. Damn edge. Got it. Or 2 prefixes, that's the problem. Can I do any of these? Sweet. Well, that went great. Still 17 fortune potential on it. Oh my god. Oh, sorry, I had the a camera on the wrong side. Well, it went great. Spoiler alert. Will we see dungeon key nodes in monoliths after finding arena key nodes now? I'm not sure, actually. I don't think so. Hello, just a little message of support. Your game is amazing. Thank you very much. Is upheaval skill shard in the game? Can it be added to the filter at the moment? No, I don't believe it is. We'll add it. It just didn't quite make the cut on time. Stuff comes right down to the wire with patches, and sometimes a few things don't make it. But yeah, every skill will have a plus skill node for it. Give me that damage, that sweet, sweet damage. Because I like the damage. It's really good. Ooh, Warcry. Warcry is a ton of fun. We're going to put Warcry in our bar. Maelstrom? Yeah, I don't think we need Maelstrom right now. Is there ever going to be a whole new class added? Possibly. We do have we have plans for new classes that could be added down the road. So like we've got ideas for all sorts of crazy stuff. Ooh, Vipertail, that's a great drop. That is a great drop. I mean, I have one in my bank, but if I was doing SSF, oh, it's a great drop. Or a fresh character. Nice. Nice. I guess I'm not really grabbing anything in my bank yet, but yeah. I should just nuke my stash. It's so messy. Yeah, new classes. We do have like we've got ideas for new mastery classes and new whole classes. They're a lot of work, and it does create a little bit of a multiplicative effect of what's needed. So, like for example, say we've got a unique armor that any class could wear, and it's got a unique visuals for it, and that visual needs to work on 5 classes, but then we introduce 6 classes, suddenly that work that took X amount of time now takes 20% more time. Likely. Stun. Yeah. Yeah. The stuns from things like that did just get a nerf too. The guy over here was like got across the bridge and was just like, hide, help. Forgot about Warcry. Alright, this patch is amazing. It's amazing. Sir, yes, thank you. I think I'm going to play for 4 days straight. Oh, Aaron, hey, yes. I should read the names first. I really should do that, yeah. I'm glad you're enjoying it so far.
Run.
I will keep an eye out. This fight has changed so many times over the years, and I love it now. Oh, so good! I love it. All right, take two. That never happened. I don't know what you're talking about. As I get nuked. Umber Blade's so much fun. Yeah, it is. You guys notice this up here? Oh, yeah. Got some slow and some poison and some frailty. Oh, that's going to go off no matter what. That's too bad. Thank you very much. Random Mix has resub for 6 months in a row. Oh, and also, did I do this? Allery Evo? 3 months. Thanks to the patch. Now he wants to know. Oh, yeah, I just said that one. Which will happen first? You tidy up your stash or multiplayer? I mean, that's a good point. So when multiplayer goes live, I don't have to tidy up my stash because it just gets replaced. Oh, big brain thinking outside the box. Come on. Woo. That's how we avoid the flame spin. We just pop them. Hey Mike, what is the biggest reason you wanted to scrap Ice Thorns, and what rough draft can caster shamans expect next patch? Ice Thorns is... We've tried to rework it a few times to make it feel really good. It doesn't. We're not 100% sure the exact way to fix that, or else we would be fixing it instead of replacing it. I don't have any... Like, we've... It's one of those things, like, at some point you gotta fish or cut bait, right? And we're at that point where we're looking to cut bait on it. Oh, it still goes off. That shouldn't happen. I can't tell you the other things that will eventually replace it. Sorry, it's not done. If they were done, they would have happened this patch.
You must find the temple.
Oh yeah, give me a charm. Shock and fire res, fizz res, or poison. Let's do fizz res and poison. Sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah. I wasted a point, didn't I? Oh well, I'm over it. I did a dungeon and got to the Eternity Cache thing, but I didn't get a unique to drop. I thought all the stuff make legendary dropped from there. Yeah, that didn't make it into the patch. Sorry. It will. Just to thank you, the crafting changes feel so good in SSF, and I love seeing the building around ailment stacks A+ work. Thank you very much. Yeah, the boss specific drops for making at least one never got put in, but it is still planned as far as I know, and hopefully should be happening fairly soon. Dear Mike, I probably won't see my husband for 4 days. He's your problem now. Well, whoever he is, he's welcome here. I got space on my couch if he wants to crash. Hey Mike, love the patch with the state of the game. Is it going? It's going in a good direction. So many games are ruined by gold farmers and bot users. What actions is Last Epoch taking towards this behavior? A few things. Well, first off, there's no point in doing it right now because there's no trading. So there's no way to make money because there's no value for it. And it's not online yet, even really. So yeah, that's the first step. Just don't have multiplayer. No, I'm just kidding. The first thing, I know it might sound weird, but just having a sticker price on the game in general is a slight deterrence. I know there's lots of games that have sticker prices that have bot farmers and everything like that. Definitely. But that's a little thing. Another little thing is actually in how we design our skills. We do generally, and there are some. I'm sure there always would be some sort of build where someone could get a bot to play it pretty easily. But we try and work in gameplay decisions whenever we can. So I know a lot of bot systems will just be like, okay, who cares? We'll just play something that's so easy it doesn't matter, and just have a really slow incremental advantage that it like. Who cares if it's inefficient or low reward? You know, playing the highest level content, you just go for it hard. With a crappy bot that just uses swipe a bajillion times, it can still do easier content, no problem, if it's geared right. Cool. But there's a little thing we do there as well. So it's harder to play like the top end content with a bot because it's just not able to mechanically handle the gameplay decisions that need to be made. And then there's other things like we'll obviously be looking at and trying to keep an eye on if there's like someone spamming in chat like we have money for sale or whatever. Like we can just delete the account if you're advertising money for sale in chat. You know, there's things we can do like that. I have no idea what the policies around that will be, but there's options there. And then there's the biggest thing really is how we're planning on setting up trade in general. And a lot of the ways one of the ways we are planning on setting up trade is it does very much deter this RMT systems, real money transaction systems. That's a lot of little things, but together I think it'll do a decent job of it. Ideally, we wouldn't have bots running around playing the game more than people. That would suck. Hopefully, it's people playing the game. It's the goal. She's talking about you, Aaron? Oh, it's your wife. Okay. Hi, Aaron's wife. I'm so sorry. Not that sorry, actually. That's unfortunate for me. I wish I was sorry, but I can't stop making this game. I just can't bring myself to do it. All right, just to thank you. The crafting changes feel. Oh, I did said that. Yeah. Hey, Mike, love the patch. I need like a way to like tick off comments so it like it's just like you read that one already, Mike. Move on. Old Shaman Autocast build is a good example of bottable build. Yeah, it's a great example. There's overlap there with the Autocast and like things that are just autocastable that are really good to autocast, and we're trying to tone down. Like having things on Autocast isn't the end of the world. Having it be the optimal way to play, that's what we don't like. As soon as build guides are popping up, and they're like the first part of the build guide is here's how you turn on Autocast because you're gonna need it for this build. Like that's the scenario that we're not huge on. Or if the build at the end of the guide's like, now the best way to play this is not with Autocast, but if you're feeling lazy, you can turn it on and it'll still work for easier content. That sort of situation would be fine, personally. Thanks for making sure that I can always feel like I'm finding my own upgrades and making my own progress. Fully open trade systems ruin that fantasy for me. Yeah, it's a really fine balance between like there's really good things that open trade systems do. They're not like fully evil or whatever, but there's pros and cons to basically every system. And one of the good things that it does do is if you have a really large drop pool of items, and say you've got 10 unbelievably rare items, and only one of them is good for your character. So you got these 10 items that it's like, oh my god, I found one of them, it's great, and you find a different one of them that's not good for your character. Having a way to turn that item into something that is good for your character, great. One of the ways that's really easy to do that is with an open trading system, because you can just trade it for the version of those 10 things. One of them's really good, and you just trade it for the one that's really good, right? There's other ways to make that work, really. So you can have like tokens, where like the token drops, you can trade the token for one out of 10 different items, and you pick the one that's really good for you. You know, there's different things there. You can have crafting systems where, like, say, a really good item drops, but you can like do a crafting thing and it like turns it into a different one of those really good ones, and maybe you get the one you're looking for then, like a reroll on it. So there's lots of different ways to do it, and one of them is just a trading system. So that's something that is good about a free trade system. But we think we can use other systems to get that same effect and still have like item drops that maybe aren't exactly what the one you're looking for still be exciting and cool. And some of that comes down to as well, like lots of people like to make alt characters, so sometimes finding a really awesome super rare item can be the catalyst for making a new character. So like I've seen people like drop a specific item and it's like, oh my gosh, I found this item, I guess I'm making a X character. Which I like, personally. I'm a fan. Yeah, we're just cranking those two a lot. Give me damage. We get Werebear. Having those points in Fury Leap's gonna be great for Maul. Do a lot of damage, spicy damage. Yeah. Where the Shatter Strike and Flame Reave video audio updates done for performance reasons, they feel, look, and sound much better. Yeah, it was. I don't think that it was done for performance reasons, but there was a performance bump that happened at the same time. Thanks for having a better endgame in beta than some fully released games. You're welcome. We know that endgame is a really important part of the game and is what most games in this genre are compared to against each other. While the campaign is like the campaign is really important for most important, I think, for the new player experience, because it for a lot of people it is like a tutorial in a sense where you're still learning how your abilities work, you're still unlocking new abilities, you're still getting a feel for your character and that sort of thing. So it is important that the campaign is solid and feels really tight and is interesting and fun and like, you know, has cool stuff there. And that is something that we are still working on. And I think that's one of the really big strengths of the dungeon system is that it hits metrics in the campaign and endgame that are really positive. So just having another endgame system to play in, with randomization, which is really important, and like unique deterministic rewards is great for any endgame system to feel really good to run. And I mean, like the progenitor example of that, I believe, would be Chaos Sanctuary, Chaos Tristram, the Pandemonium event in D2, where you get it's the only endgame really. Well, Declone as well, but that's a mess. But the real endgame there is Chaos Sanctuary, or Chaos Trist, sorry, not Chaos Sanctuary, Chaos Trist, and it has unique deterministic rewards. It's the only place to get a torch. It's literally a unique item. Yeah, and you always get a torch. So yeah, that's a really good thing for endgame systems to have. It's not necessary for all of them, but it is really good for if it has one that is quite often a very positive thing for that system. I need a new offhand here, don't I? There we go. What did I ask for? A shield? Got a shield. Get out of here, wooden shield. Shout at it on the ground. Go away, wooden shield. Alright, here we go. I love the original bizarre idea, random selection of classic auction house. It combines the old lucky trade feeling of D2 with the excess of not being online at peak hours. Oh, I may have bitten off a little more than I can chew here. Nah, we Gucci. It's fine. Get that sustained. Nice, nice. Yeah, the bizarre system's going through a lot of iteration, a lot of changes. A lot of the like goals that we have are really important to us, and we want to keep those in mind when we're designing it and updating it.
Greetings.
I mean, let's be real here.
Who are you?
Will there be any throwing bases in the future? Throwing feels a bit of a letdown because there isn't a whole lot for it. I mean, there are weapons that are really good for throwing attacks for sure. The reason we don't have the base weapons, we have no intention of putting a weapon out there right now that says plus 11 throwing physical damage. We're not intending to do that right now. The reason I say not intending to do that right now is because it's possible that it could change down the road eventually. I don't think it will, but it's possible. And a big reason for that is when you swing an axe, you are hitting them with that axe, and so it makes a lot of sense for the damage in that axe to deal damage with it. Now, if I'm throwing a dagger, but that dagger's still in my hand, or if I'm throwing an axe and that axe is still in my hand, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have the damage from that come from that weapon, if that makes any sense. So we try and avoid that where we can. And we balance it accordingly. And if we were to make a weapon where it was like, here's a weapon that has added throwing damage on it, we would just take all the throwing attacks and be like, negative the average number of damage on the high-end item that it has. Like, it would be the same balance either way, right? This is our ability to deploy patches quickly to a global audience. No one wants to wait 7 days for a patch. I don't know where that quote came from, but yeah, we do want to deploy patches quickly and be able to do that quickly. And that is something that is that from our that sounds, I feel like I've read that before, and I think that's from our multiplayer recent multiplayer update blog. I think. Sounds like something Stanswell would say. Because he runs all that. Yeah, we do put a lot into our patching system and making it as robust as we can and as responsive as we can. So we we do practice builds all the time. Every time we're merging in a big pull request, we check it for build compatibilities. There's a lot of stuff we do to make sure that our ability to build the game is always good and solid, so that we can if we needed to pretty well at any time, we can just be like build and it'll go build. And there's backup systems that do it as well and everything. And then our validation pipelines, we've been building. That's a lot of what we've done this year is building out a lot of those systems and making them a lot more robust. And it's not strictly for multiplayer stuff. A lot of that's just like things we need to have be awesome. for any game that's going to be updated frequently needs to have those things be awesome. After legendary systems now, set items look like the most useless, at least. Are they going to be more useful in the future? I mean, we did buff a lot of the set items in this patch. It is something we want to keep an eye on. We do want set items to feel relevant still. We want them to feel distinct as well. So having set items be more than just uniques with a set bonus, having them feel like they've got their own niche, and I think that's important. Oh yeah, you want to play? You want to play? All right. I mean, that's pretty great, right? Did I miss a question? I tried a new werebear form. It's so cool. And it is eye candy. I agree. It's fantastic. It is fantastic. I had to stop playing because I have to go to work soon, but I gotta say, even without it in my specialization slots, Upheaval feels pretty good. It does feel pretty good. Quite happy with Upheaval. That was a really nice addition. I'm happy we got that in too. Thoughts on making the monoliths not infinite scaling, but capped with a rework buff in difficulty? I feel it kills the motivation to min-max a build. Well, when eventually you will be one-shot or do ZDPS or both. I think having different endgame systems work off different scaling is really good. I think it's unlikely we'll be just doing that. That's a pretty colossal change to the system. So unlikely is the answer there, I'd say. But it is, I think, important to note that we are building systems that don't have infinite scaling, specifically to fill that niche. So there's, like the dungeons, for example. The level 100 dungeon doesn't keep scaling past that. It's the level 100 dungeon is the level 100 dungeon, right? And I think having those static benchmarks are really important, and then having those infinite scaling benchmarks are really important too. And we want to have our in-game systems work together to provide both of those experiences. So people who like one or the other can play one or the other, and people who like both can play both depending on how they're feeling. And having both of those play cycles be rewarding. Validating? I don't know the right way to put it, but yeah. Not punishing. We don't want to punish people for being like, oh, I hate the monolith, so I'm never going to play it. But I really like these other two endgame systems, and I want to play those. We want to avoid punishing people for playing like that. And I know that, like, as I said that, I'm like, well, you can't get any legendary items if you hate dungeons. That one's a lot smaller, so it's much less of a problem, I think. Yeah, it's just a couple little extra ones in there, right? The 7 days thing is a quote from Multiplayer Progress Update. Yes. Okay, cool. I got that right. Yay. What determines whether an item has low or high forging potential? Is it just random by its level? Oh my gosh. I should have been looking at the screen. It is not just straight random based on its level. It is determined by a few things. The level affects it. The rarity affects it. And then there's also a random roll in the range. So, like, a rare item dropped at endgame that got a lucky roll is going to have more forging potential than a normal item dropped at the very start of the game.
Impossible.
I want to ask about portals with the minion. Can you fix that? Every time we go to the portal, minion has the map to start. Yeah, it's frustrating, I know, eh? Am I tripping, or is there no plus level to upheaval affix shard? You ain't tripping, bud. Doesn't exist yet. It will. Not seeing a whole loot filter rule for umbral blades or upheaval storm blade level of. Yep, they do not exist yet. Would you rather give set pieces unique affixes or buff set bonuses? We do both already.
Impossible.
We just like there's unique things that are in sets already that don't exist anywhere else, and we do that, and we will keep doing that for sure. And we just buffed them all too. Curious how many minutes, hours it takes for Unity to compile a build, if you don't mind sharing. I don't know, because it's all done on a remote server, and I haven't built the game in 2 years, 3 years probably. If I had to guess, I would say an hour to 2 hours would be my guess. That could be way off, though. I don't know. Please don't assume that's right, because I really don't know. It's probably way more than that. Yeah, I'll kill you, bruh. Don't worry about it. I'm on it. Like any good lich, you must have a phylactery around. Right? Right. I know that you generally don't answer questions about how trading is going to work because it's still in development. It's true. But can you give us a general philosophy on the subject, and most specifically, do you like completely open trades, or do you want some items not retradable? Yeah, so there's information in the multiplayer FAQ. I think if you just type multiplayer into chat right now, it will actually link you to it. That's got some general stuff about it. As far as personally, I really do enjoy when items get bound. When there's like certain scenarios where an item gets bound, like if it was entirely up to me making the whole system and there was no one else and I just said this is the way it is. Things like Rune of Creation or mirrored items would not be tradable. Personally. I think legendary items probably wouldn't be tradable either, come to think of it. But just to be clear, this is not a system where I just decide what happens. There's a great many number of people who work together to decide what's best for the game as a whole. So we'll see. Personally, I do really like trading systems because of the stuff I was talking about earlier, where it can give value to an item that you find that you have no use for otherwise. So sometimes there might be like a super rare item that drops, and you just don't want it because maybe you don't like the type. Maybe it's a bow, and you hate bow characters, and you just never want to play one. So suddenly this bow is just useless to you, and you're like, oh, great. Personally, I really like trading among friends. I think it's the most important thing, where you can work towards something. Or like you see you drop a really sweet item and you know your buddy's making a bow character and you drop that sweet bow. Being able to give that to your friend is great. I think trading creates a real sense of community. I think some of the downsides, there's lots of downsides to it too. I think there's a lot of price check posts can happen on forums, which are kind of frustrating. Yeah. Oh, nice move, sweet boots. Where am I going now? Gold. I love gold. Awesome update, dude. How often do you think dungeon keys will drop? It'll depend heavily on how much you're playing and what level you're playing at and how difficult it is and all that sort of stuff. But they're on the rarer side of things. They're not meant to be just candy. But I think like less. You should, if you're if you're going in to make a legendary item, you'll find the keys before you find the exact pieces you want to make that great legendary item. Second question was towards balance versus legendaries. Yep. How about making it so that inventory stays open when you click on the stash after open store at NPC? Yeah, I think there's there's a funky interaction there. I know people have been asking for that for a while. It's on the list.
Who are you?
Wait, I thought you had a quest.
Who are you?
But I want
Go on.
to hand you my quest.
Greetings. Farewell.
The build is likely wrong. Oh, multiplayer didn't work. I was saying do that. It didn't work. My bad. Let me grab that multiplayer FAQ for you. I'll find it. Find it real quick, like. Nope. Maybe I won't find it that quick. There it is. There it is. There it is. I just posted in the chat in case anyone else has not found it yet. We've got new stuff. We've got Daedalus has gifted some subs. Thank you very much. 5 to the channel. Congrats if you got one of those. Alright, however, just downloaded the game update. How does one enter the new dungeons? You need to find a key first. So once you found a key, you can go to the dungeon in the campaign. It's at the end of chapter 7. I think. Upheaval Totem breaks my sound whenever 2 attacks at the same time. There's no problem, not happening to any other skills. Not that I know of, but if you've got a bug, please post it on the Bug Reports forum site, and we'll get to it as soon as we can. Daedalus teacher's pet confirmed. Daedalus is awesome. He's been around for a while now, hanging out, relaxing outside the pool. And look at you, a couple of guys up to no good. Dangerously close to some sort of copyright infringement, I think. All right. Cranking out some damage here. This zone in our last couple multiplayer tests where it was unbelievably overtuned for some reason, and like everyone was coming in here, like we're just cruising along, crushing everything, coming here, and like everyone's just getting wrecked. It was quite comical. It was bad. It was bad. In the chess stream today, the commentators were talking about Friday, and which days come before or after it. Oh, partying, yeah. Nice. It's good. It's good. I like that. It's nice. Do a chess stream sometime. I'm not great. I'm okay. I feel like I might need to up some gear here a little bit, do a little crafting. Because I'm not exactly doing a ton of damage. Doing okay. It's not a ton. Could do more.
Farewell.
Yeah, here, let's flip that camera. Let's do a little craft in here. See what we can find. I mean, movement speed, I think, is the... Yeah, so we got a really good roll there. Only got one movement, only one forging potential lost. So we got 16 left. So this is guaranteed to go through. At least somewhere between 1 and 12. Glyph of Hope preserved it, so nothing. So that's sweet. And I don't have the levels to do this at all. Can I put just Vitality? No. It's okay. Much better. Just do some health here. 1. Wow. Got real lucky 2 times in a row there. Let's get some health regen in here. Got a critical success, so that's sweet. Mana regen went up with it. Glyph of Hope preserved it. Wow, I'm just let's go from you see white down 13 potential to start. Let's see what damage we have here. Physical. Glyph of Hope, sweet. Glyph of Hope, sweet. 8, alright. Don't have a lot left, but you know, we got some damage here. Move speed? No. Vitality? No. Just health. Is health in here? Health is here. Alright, so we used all 5 there. That's okay, though. It's much better. Let's just keep going. One. I'm getting so lucky here. Of course I say that and that happens and get negative 10. It's still fine though. Critical success, negative 11. So there's only 1 forging potential left. So the next one's gonna work, but it won't well, it could get lucky with a Glyph of Hope again. Oh, that's melee damage. Negative 1, negative 1. Oh. Negative 8. Yeah, it's alright, whatever. Hope, hope. Wow. And this is not realistic at the start of the game because I have a bajillion glyphs of hope that you wouldn't have normally, but... Negative 10. Ooh. Ooh. It's fine, though. And an amulet with nothing on it at all. Sweet. Prefixes, what do we got here? Physical damage. That's freaking great. That's freaking great. That worked awesome. So there's a little look at the new crafting system, how that works. I think it's really important because it's while you can get unlucky and have things like finish earlier than you'd hoped, it's the craft that you're doing still goes through no matter what. I think that's the really important part of that. Yeah, it was a little bit of luck there. A little bit of luck. It's okay. We're allowed to get lucky, right? Steve Rogers to Captain America in 1 crafting session. Yes. Oh, Puppers died. Come on over here. Get out of the spice. Apparently, my brain wants to press the S key instead of the W key. Don't ask me why. My brain's just doing it. like, oh yeah, I heard you wanted to press W. How about S instead? It's just as good, right? Right? First crest on Steam earlier was T20. Feels much better. Yeah, it's an improvement. It's a significant improvement. Oh, missed him. Let's get out of the. Yeah, there we go. Knocking him back into the lightning's probably not the best idea, but that's okay. Come on, live! Live! Okay, move out of the lightning, and then you go over there, attack him. I agree with that, but I do think it's worse than it was before. Interesting. In that regard, initially, last patch, you could glyph of the Guardian for at least like 3 crafts and get a 100% chance to succeed. Now you can craft once and you're done. Yes, I think on normal and magic items, it is you have a higher chance to have that one and done thing happen. But on exalted items especially, and also rare and magic items, it's a little less magic items, but definitely rare and super duper exalteds, that initial craft one and done I don't think is possible on most exalted items now, whereas before it would actually be kind of frequent. And that's the problem, is that when you drop this really rare item that has like exalted affixes on it, and you're just like, oh, I just want to like touch it up a little bit, and people were fracturing exalted items off right off the bat. That was a really big problem, even if that's what the math was supposed to do. I just want to thank you for this amazing game and latest patch. So cool. Just wish I could play max graphics on my potato PC. I hope one day you can play max graphics on your potato PC too. We'll get it running way better for you. But glad you're having fun. The thing that'll help the most, if you are trying to upgrade something to make it run better, CPU for our game. Almost always CPU is the bottleneck. So if you're looking for upgrade targets, that's where you want to be looking. Alright, how we doing? How's everyone doing? Everyone playing the patch? What is the non-druid thing people have been most looking forward to playing in this patch, or are playing already? Because I know a lot of people are playing druid. Try to find a damn key. Yep. Do you have a unique with legendary potential that you want to make with that key yet? And remember, the first key, it's got to be a level 50 or lower unique. Umbral Strikes, yeah. Umbral Blades, yeah. Any classes other than Druid? Necro, hands down. Reign of Winters, farming for dungeon keys, yeah. Trapper, Fire, Blade Dancer, build with Decoy and Umbral Blades. Nice. I think that'll be good. I think that'll be actually a pretty good build, because you can get throwing damage effects. Decoy. Impossible. I believe. Going on blades, nice, yeah. Playing my first character, which is a rogue. I don't know what I'm doing. That's okay. Hopefully, you can still have fun even though you don't know what you're doing. That would mean we've done something right. I found one craft unique with one legendary potential on it. That's enough. That'll do. What unique was it? You got a slab with 3 potential? Yeah, we had to change the slab a little bit because there was a scenario where you could still get it with like max block. Because you get such huge block on a block affix on an exalted. Humming bee. I love humming bee. It's a great weapon. That's one of the first weapons we made. I know Archer's Legacy is the 3rd. Just because I had to spawn that one for testing a lot, so I know the number. Yeah, all the ones that have like weird edge cases effects. I started learning the numbers for them. And I also just have like testing characters that have all the uniques on them that are like weird edge cases. That's why you guys never see my character select screen, like the load character screen, because you see all the like horrible names I have for characters that are like for testing this skill, for testing this unique. That's what they all are. And somewhere I was just like, I wonder how many keys I can fit on my forehead right now. Few of us theory crafted and came up with a 16% short on slab math for 100%. Yeah, it's an awkward build. Do you recall how you reached 100%? Ours was Warpath, Sigil, Shieldbath, Paladin. The previous version was find an exalted with weirdly high block percentage and slap it on there. Done. That's pretty much all you needed for it. Not quite, but yeah, you've got it. There might be a way to make it 100% later, but I don't think it's possible right now. Always Sentinel. Wait, so you can only use a level 50 unique for the first legendary craft? Yeah. It does say that when you go into the dungeon. There are 4 tiers to the dungeon. I mean, so technically it's not the first legendary craft. It's the first tier of dungeon has that restriction. And you can't do the other tiers of dungeons until you've done the ones before it. So the first one you end up getting to doing will be that. But you could just like beat the dungeon, leave, don't do it, and level up the dungeon high enough until you can do it. And then your first use could be on 100, but it's a dumb word gymnastics. Yes, your first one's level 50 caps. I think it goes 50, 70, 80, 100, or 50, 65, 75, 100, something like that. Yeah. We were debating different rewards for doing higher tier dungeons, and one option we had was you get to do a number of crafts equal to your the tier. So if you do tier 1, you get to do 1 legendary. If you do tier 2, you get to do 2 legendaries. And it felt kind of awkward, because the thing we're trying to avoid is like level 100 characters coming in to do the low-level dungeons to just literally run through it as fast as they possibly can with no regard for anything else on the screen to get the craft done that they want for the legendary potential. So then we started looking at, you can only craft items with X legendary potential equal to the tier. So if you do like a T1, you can only craft something with 1 legendary potential on it. And that seemed kind of weird too, because then if you find a lucky low-level 4-leg unique, then you can't get that into a legendary item until you've like until you can do the higher level dungeons. And we talked about having it so you could still do it, but it would treat it as it was a lower level. So like you put a 4-leg in and it only actually takes 3. And that's terrible because people would be like, well, "Where's my 4th affix? Oh no, what's going on?" So we figured lower level characters doing lower level tiers would be having lower level items. Makes the most sense. Least chance for horrible like, "Oh my god, no" moments, I thought. Just did T4 dungeon a while ago. Are you ready for Reddit asking for nerfs? I'm ready, Lizard. I am ready. I believe in you. I'm curious what item you got in there. Close call.
Gods be with you.
Cool. You can just warp the council chambers. Got any tips for an aspiring game designer? Encounter systems mostly. If you have no experience yet, and there's sort of 2 paths you can go for that I think. One is just start making something. Game jams, very low scope projects, great ways to get the ball rolling. There's always universities, like post-secondary education, where you can have someone teach you how to do things really well. But getting experience is the most important thing. And like the first real like design thing that I actually finished was actually a custom set of magic cards. And according to Judd, was a big reason why he hired me in the first place, which is pretty cool. Oops, one too many. Whatever. We do Druid next. Getting experience is really important. Getting finished products is really important. You know, bird in the hand, 2 in the bush type thing. It's even more true for game design stuff, especially. So I would, if you don't have any experience or don't want to learn any of the coding stuff, find someone that you can work with to do that portion of it. Get a small team together, make a small game, something really bite-sized. That's the most important thing. Keeping the scope small. Yeah. But yeah, so I got really lucky because I had a bunch of friends who play Magic with me, and so they, like, as I was making the set, they gave me a bunch of feedback, and then once it was ready, it was designed as a draft set, so we all, like, I just went to Staples and printed out a bunch of cards and cut them all up, put them in sleeves, and they all had just white backs to them. Like, they were terrible, first version of them. but just as like a test to see if I could make it. And yeah, finishing the project is really important. So keeping the scope small is really important. Yeah. If you do a T1 dungeon and upgrade legendary potential 2 item, does it leave you with 1 legendary potential, or is it completely consumed? Sorry, I was talking about things we suggested, or we went through as a process of design iteration. The way it works is you can put an item that meets the level restriction requirement into the Eternity Cache with any number of legendary potential, and it will use all of the legendary potential to take that many affixes. So you can, in a T1 Eternity Cache, you can put a 4-leg Viper Tail, it's level 6, and get all 4 affixes from the exalted item. It'll work every single time, you'll get 4 every single time, no problems. What you can't do is you can't put a Omni in there at the T1. You need to go to the T4 dungeon to do an Omni. Hope that makes sense. There's more information and details about all this in the Eternity Cache Legendary devlog that's on our forums, with an FAQ at the bottom, with, I am pretty sure, every question that could be asked about it, because every time someone asked me a new question, I added it to that. So you could say that making homebrew D&D monsters item set mechanics would be a good gateway. Absolutely. Big time. The most important part of it is finish it. And test it. And like being able to see and get feedback from people, and because that's the best way to learn, is to actually have people play it, have real people play it, and get feedback for it. Custom draft set release when? I can't release it. If I actually released it, I'm pretty I haven't looked into it because I have no intention of releasing it, but I'm pretty sure that it breaks like a dozen copyright rules. So I made it as a personal project for myself to play with, and it was never for sale, and it is not for sale, and it will never be for sale. I do like the invulnerability. We're going to Berserk because I love Berserk. Yeah. Rawr. Like a nice Build-A-Bear. What am I doing? What am I doing? I can respec afterwards, can't I? Berserk is tough to keep up and make it work, but oh my goodness, it's great when it works. I want to take the knockback off of it because it makes it harder to Berserk with the knockback. Or does Berserk take the knockback off automatically? Nope, it doesn't. He just gets so beefy once it's going. I'm searching for the Kickstarter now. I mean, I could retheme the whole thing, but I'm pretty sure you can't sell magic. The magic border and frame and everything is all copyrighted. I think. I've never looked into it enough, but I do love card games, though. One day I'll make a card game one day. Or a board game. That'd be fun. This is what happens when you guys don't ask direct questions very much. I start rambling. Yeah, it's our like go-to Like, we play a lot of board games. You can see you can see like 10% of our board games on screen right now. For a while there was a couple years where it was just like every birthday, holiday, Christmas, anniversary, my wife and I just like bought each other board games, which is great. I'll pick one up for us for Christmas. I've decided this new thing where if a present is like as much for me as it is for her, I'll address it to both of us and say it's from Santa. Warm in here. Oh, the heat's turned up. Are the crit changes still planned, or are they scrapped? They're still planned. It's going to be part of a little bit bigger change that's going to happen in 8.5. So you see some early preamble for those changes, but they're not in yet fully. The loot filter labels are split into normal, exalted, and unique set items. Could you unlock the unique set labels to be used for other items? I think it's really good. Exalted items worthy of this tag. The I know what you're talking about. These, yes, normal, exalted, unique, and set. Yeah, we've been considering this because there are. The reason that labels are like this is ones that we really want to stand out. When it's a super rare thing, when they're less frequently dropped, the labels like this, they blend in with the background a lot better and obstruct your gameplay less. So the labels need to be able to, for the most part, not obstruct your gameplay. That's like one of the really important parts about them. And so, in order to ensure that, if we allowed people to just put every single item that dropped, if we just had like recolor all items, red with the big background, all items that dropped would suck. And it would just, like, your whole screen would just suck. It would be awful. And so, like, we almost need some way to detect if the rule that it's recoloring is a rare rule or not. So if it's only gonna apply this background color to a rare thing, something that's like a not common combination of items or affixes or whatever. Wow, it is so cold out that opening my door to not the outside, just the garage, instantly my room dropped like 5-10 degrees. That's hilarious. I played Gloomhaven yet? I have not played Gloomhaven yet. I want to so bad, but it's one of those games where it's like, I know that once I start playing Gloomhaven, I'm just like, it's gonna consume me. I played a little bit of Kingdom Death Monster, which was phenomenal. Oh my gosh, that game was great. That was a ton of fun. But yeah, it's another one that's pretty consuming. The good part about that is that runs can die fairly easily, actually. And once the run collapses and falls apart, it's not that hard to stop. But yeah. Did I turn on the loot filter? I did. How tall am I? I'm 6'1". Am I standing during playing? I am standing during playing, so I can do this. Whoop, whoop. You can see my chair. I sit sometimes. My desk goes up and down. Then go. Ooh. See the whole shirt? Yeah, Last Epoch. Ooh, yeah. Put that back. This desk is great. I saved up for this desk and am very happy with it. Yeah, keep those stacks. The loot filter label. Yeah, it's not that. Does strength double dip for Swarmblade using Serpent Strike? No. I don't think. What's the Serpent Strike node? Like the. I don't understand the question. Sorry. Why is there like a node in Serpent Strike that makes it do more damage from strength or something that it'd be using? that I'm just missing? I'll check in a sec. Almost nothing ever double dips, so if it does, it's a bug, but probably not. probably doesn't actually double dip. Alright, let's look. Serpent Strike. STRNG. Please, emphasize or explain what you mean. Does Serpent Strike double dip? Because I don't really know what you're talking about. Oh, Serpent Strike itself has the strength dip. Oh, okay, I understand. Sorry, I should have clued in. This is a question I've been getting asked a fair bit, actually. The first place this was asked was about the Fury Leap. So, all nodes that are like this is really important. So, your Fury Leap tree, so the skill tree, now applies to Maul. So what this means is, when you use Maul, all the nodes in Fury Leap's tree apply to it, as though it were the Maul tree, right? So Maul is still Maul, and you still cast Maul as Maul, and all the things that affect Maul directly on its own tags are just Maul. However, you then treat this as though instead of Fury Leap was here in the center, it's Maul that's here in the center. Not, like, you don't get Fury Leap. It doesn't cast Fury Leap instead of Maul. It just casts Fury Leap with all these other nodes applied to it. So it's the same with the Serpent Strike one. Serpent Strike on Swarmblade. So, it's probably down here somewhere, isn't it? There it is right there, obviously. There you go. So this is just... The reason the no spear requirement is there is just a clarification. So it probably actually makes it more confusing. But it's trying to be like... The things that like, it's not, you're not using Serpent Strike, you're using Serpent Strike's tree on Armblade Slashes. And nowhere in Serpent Strike's tree does it say it requires a spear, right? So maybe that's throwing people off on that one. But yeah, it's the actual tree, not the using that ability, if that makes any sense. So you don't get to apply the tags from Serpent Strike, so you don't get the physical, poison, melee, strength, dexterity. None of that, the physical, poison, melee, minion tag does, and this is where it gets confusing. Those minion tags do apply. Here's the reason. The minion tags aren't actually part of the skill. The minion tags are part of the minion that it summons. And so if you were to summon a serpent through the tree, you'd still get the scaling tags for the minion. If that makes any sense. At least I think that's something that comes from the tree. Isn't it? Yeah, chance to summon a primal serpent on kill. So that, honestly, those minion scaling tags probably shouldn't exist without it. But yeah, this is... The minion scaling tags that come from that are, like, see, it says here, primal serpents get 4% increased damage per point of strength or dexterity. Like, that's because that's part of the serpent, not Serpent Strike. Even though Serpent Strike's what triggers it. That makes any sense. Will Kickstarter or similar merch ever be available for sale? Missed the early days, but loved the designs. The early merch they're gone. It's done. We're actually done the stream here. If you want, I can show you what some of them look like. Nice bag my wife made for my playmats. It's one of Middle Earth. Here's the original Epoch one. So this is the first playmat we did. You can see it's signed by Judd down there. I think it's down that corner. Oh, it's this corner, sorry. Yeah. So that was a single print run. It's done. Personally, the quality on that one is definitely less than the quality on the new ones. The new ones, like, they're triple the size and this gorgeous braided edge, and oh, they're just fantastic. So that's going to round out the stream today. We're at closing time. I had a ton of fun. I hope you did too. Let me just...
The text on the guide says origin/0.
Whoops. Oh, Mike, big mistake. No one heard anything there. That was me accidentally joining voice chat. That was random stuff. Alright, when league seasons are introduced to the game, are you planning to have a very aggressive schedule like PoE with big updates and new mechanics every 3 months, more calm quality over quantity patch approach? We don't know yet. We'll figure that out, see how we do. Yeah. Would a better explanation be Serpent Strike's effects and talent nodes now also apply to skill? I mean, that's I don't think that actually makes any more sense. I think it's the exact same thing, isn't it? Serpent Strike's tree affects arm blade slashes. Like, but that's the thing. Serpent Strike effects don't apply to it. I think that's more confusing because that's I think a false statement. Yeah. Maybe though. All right, let's find some fun to have here. Okay, we did it. I made it. How do I do this in real life now? Okay, stream's done. I had a great time. I hope you did too. I will see you next time, same place. I will be here next week. If you have any more questions, please feel free to hop on over to the our Discord. We have an Ask the Devs channel. It is for if you have like questions about why things are done the way they are. If you have just weird questions about stuff. If you have support stuff, we have a support site. Bug reports on the forums. It's not for support bug reports, but if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them there. Yeah. Have a good day, everyone. Bye. I just waved at the camera even though it's off.